Good morning, all of you. I am Shweta Sarangi, and today I'll discuss with you about the thermal pollution. So, in the previous class, we have studied about the thermal pollution, and also we have studied the sources of it. Okay, so we have discussed the nuclear power plants, coal-fired power plants, industrial effluents, and today we are going to discuss about the domestic sewage. Domestic sewage is commonly discharged into rivers, lakes, and canals with or without waste treatment. The municipal sewage normally has a higher temperature than receiving water. The discharged water not only raises the steam temperature to a measurable extent but also creates numerous deleterious effects on aquatic biota. The organic matter present in the sewage utilizes the dissolved oxygen which are present in the surface water for oxidation. With the increase in the temperature of the water, the DO content decreases and the demand of oxygen increases. Hence, the anaerobic conditions will result in the release of foul and offensive gases. The marine life dependent upon the dissolved oxygen will die out and the quality of water is also adversely affected. Okay, next is nuclear hazards. Hazards. Hazards means dangerous to human being or so by external source. This external source is from environment. When our environment is polluted, then no one can escape from the pollution. Hazards. It has become a part of our life. A number of atoms possess the ability to limit radiation and thereby cause radioactive pollution. Radiations originate from instability of the nuclei of an atom which loses subnuclear particles and energy to acquire a stable state, that is radioactivity. It is the state of nuclei which is responsible for the phenomenon. Neutrons and protons constitute the nucleus while electrons revolve round the nucleus in its outer orbits. When the number of protons are equal to the number of electrons, the chemical properties shall remain the same. Neutrons and protons constitute the mass while electrons constitute chains to the element. Thus, radioactive element is defined to be the collection radioactive mass with the same change of the nucleus. The radioactive atom has the same change of the nucleus and the same mass is called radioactive isotope. The radioactivity of a radioactive substance is expressed by the number of nuclear transformation in unit time. Okay. Next is disaster management. Okay, so what is the disaster management? So the flood, earthquakes, cyclones, and landslides are the disaster management. So we are going to discuss about the disaster management. First is our flood. Floods have ravaged portion of India from time immemorial. Though floods are one of the very few well recorded natural phenomena, the catastrophic damages caused by them attracted focused attention in recent decades. With increasing population pressure and accelerated economic development, the adverse effects of flood are being increasingly felt now. Flood cause great distress whenever the damaged crops and property and endanger lives. The term flood is generally defined as a relatively high flow or stage in a river and the inundation of lowland which might result therefrom. In a broader sense, the term flood is used to convey all their outfalls into main rivers. Outflow due to jamming or blocking of rivers by landslides and inadequate drainage to carry away surface water speedily. Coastal floodings are also covered. In India, vast stretches of land are submerged under water and other adverse effects are caused, such as destruction or damage to houses, property, bridges, roads, and other means of communication, life lost, etc. Year after year, the distress floods of 1954 and the immediate succeeding years resulted in the initiation of organized and coordinated flood management efforts to mitigate the problem. The most deadly flooding was in 1931 in China and killed between 20 lakh and 40 lakh people. Okay. Next is our earthquake. So, earthquakes are considered to be one of the most dangerous and destructive natural hazards. The commencement of this phenomenon is usually sudden with a little or no warning. It is not yet possible to predict earthquakes and to make preparation against damage and collapse of buildings and other man-made structures. Actually, earthquake consists of a sudden shaking or vibration of ground caused by disturbances in earth crust. An earthquake generates a set of horizontal and vertical vibrations of the ground which are random in character. Earthquakes may be defined as a natural phenomenon which tends to create panic due to the trembling vibrations of sudden undulation of a portion of Earth's crust caused by splitting of a mass of rock, tectonic or by volcanic or other disturbances. This unit provides a general discussion about earthquake. For clear understanding, we will first explain the general characteristics of earthquakes. Beside this, procures the instrumental and non-instrumental and vulnerability of the different regions of the country will be discussed to analyze the impact and effect of earthquake. Lastly, nature of damage caused by earthquake will be briefly described. Okay. So earthquake is nothing, it's a sudden shaking of the ground caused by the passage of seismic waves through Earth's rock. Next is landslides. What is landslides? A landslide is the movement of rock, earth or debris down a sloped section of land. Landslides are caused by rain, earthquakes, volcanoes, or other factors that make the slope unstable. Geologists, scientists who study the physical formations of the earth sometimes describe landslide as one type of mass wasting. Okay. Next is cyclone. Cyclone are one of the most disastrous natural hazards in the tropics and are responsible for deaths and destruction more than any other natural calamities. Cyclones bring with them extremely violent winds, heavy rain causing floods, and storm tides causing coastal inundation. Cyclones from over the warm ocean water sea surface temperature of the order of 26 degree or 27 degrees centigrade little away from the equator within the belt of 30 degree north and 30 degrees south. In our area, cyclones form in the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea. As they move westward or northwestward, those forming in the Bay of Bengal come to the Indian territory, while those forming in the Arabian Sea generally go away from India, but sometimes they turn around to hit Gujarat. So, cyclone is a system of winds rotating counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere around a low pressure center. The swirling air rises and cools, creating clouds and precipitation. Okay. Next is solid waste management. So, what is solid waste management? The collecting, treating, and disposing of solid material that is no that, that is discarded because it has served its purpose or is no longer useful. Any material that is thrown away or discarded as useless and unwanted by human or from animal activities is considered as solid waste. In earlier period, the disposal of the solid waste was simple, but nowadays it is a great challenge. The management of waste is a fundamental concern of the activities encompassed in solid waste management. The purpose of the study of solid waste is to identify the various types of solid waste and their sources, examine the composition of waste, consider the elements involved in the environment. The task of solid waste management present complex technical challenges. They also pose a wide variety of administrative, economic, and social problems that must be managed and solved. Okay, so what are the causes of solid waste? So, commercial establishment, residential houses, debris from construction and demolition, debris from roads, scrap from vehicles, and agriculture. Okay, so what is agriculture waste? Waste and residues resulting from diverse agricultural activities such as the planting and harvesting of raw, field, and tree and vine crops, the production of milk, the production of animal for slaughter, and the operation of tea lots are collectively called agricultural waste. Okay. Demolition and construction waste. Waste from building and other structure are classified as demolition waste. Waste from the construction, remodeling and repairing of individual residences, commercial buildings and the other structures are classified as construction waste. So these are the causes of solid waste management. Okay. In the next class we are going to study about the effects of solid waste. So we will discuss it in the next class.